how to recognize a reflector. Well, I am not entirely sure how to do that because I only know two, but they are strangely similar because they have the same dialect. Natural features for a Swedish person, which is to be a short brunette. This might be simply that I draw these reflectors to me because they reflect my own shortness and brunetteness, and one of them is actually my grandfather. So they have a kind of light air to them, and kind of like there's some kind of quickness about them also, and they will surprise you in their quickness of reflecting you. So essentially you'll recognize a reflector because they are reflecting you, and they are always just pointing out things that are, you know, true about you. Another sign that it's a reflector is that they spend a lot of time in groups. They really kind of enjoy that. One of like stand-up comedian or principal of a local school. Do you think they like children? At least the ones I've met, they're just getting involved with youth, and they don't shy away from having a lot of patience with you or anyone. Like, they have endless patience. If you tell them your boring stories over and over again, the same thing again and again, they will still kind of give you that attention. You can also notice a reflector if you are a non-energy type yourself, especially if you're like a classical projector and you have no motors defined and you're just kind of used to being at the bottom of the energy hierarchy, just energy wise, and suddenly you have this other person who's a reflector, and you notice how things are more dependent on your invitation suddenly, and that they are adapting themselves to you and your rhythm, and they are fitting themselves to your schedule somehow, which with an energy type like a generator, for example, they don't really do that in the same sense. It's more of a compromise, and usually you're the one who's compromising. So a reflector will just be totally offered to, like, oh yeah, when are you free? When can you do this? Okay, I will come over there. And this is special. Generators and manifesting generators will totally do these things initially if they have enough motivation, or if their sacral says yes, but it's not always saying yes. So that's the difference, I think. Reflectors also appears to be, it's like they can make you feel so reflected. They can have the most just super perception about things that no one else catches. But if you tell them something, it can just go into one ear and out the other, which is kind of, yeah, maddening. And they also hold you in unconditional love in a kind of different way, and they are all about other people, kind of, and the group and you. But definitely, the group, a reflector needs to be in a group. Another thing with a reflector, and this might be one of the bigger giveaways actually, is how they mention things like they mention a disappointment, because they're not self-feeling. So reflectors, when they are in their not self, it's disappointment, and when they are in their self and they're succeeding and all that, it's surprise, because they have to wait for this lunar cycle before things kind of click into place for them, and for a lot of them things get better and better the older they get. So yeah, I just think it's so funny in general with the different types, that a projector might mention bitterness, and a generator and a manifesting generator, they will actually tell you, like, if they try to have empathy for you, they will say things like, yes, I understand how that could be frustrating, because they get frustrated in their not self. And manifestors, they can tell you outright that they are angry about something. Hello again. So my battery cut out, or my storage cut out. One thing with reflectors is that they might mention, if you are a projector, that you make them feel calm. And that's a typical thing, that they notice that there's something different with the energy, that it's not as much washing through them. Then it's actually because you don't have much to wash through them. And another thing that I mentioned, but I had to cut it out because I explained it poorly, is I think that they have more physical sensitivities. In like suddenly a reflector will tell you that, oh, you smell like a vanilla candle, which I would never guessed that, but thanks. Those fine things, and it does seem like they have a sensitivity to smell. Also, just a random thing. That was my reflection of reflectors. Thank you for watching, and see you tomorrow. Bye.